What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back again to my channel. At this point, I'm sure you guys are tired of my excuses. We're like, Bemi, I can't. No, I'm not taking your excuses again. It's too much. Every now and then you come on here to apologize. Please, just take me like that. It's just life. Life has just been life in anyhow. Like it's just been happening anyhow. So whenever I find the time to sit out here and film videos with you for you guys, I actually do that. It's not. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just life. Yesterday was Tisha's god sister's birthday, you guys. We went there yesterday. I would show you what Tisha looks like in a little purse and a little outfit, and she was really feeling herself, giving us a tour yesterday. I told her that we were going for a party, and yesterday she was like, mommy, party, like let's go. So Tisha has gotten to that stage where you don't tell her things until you're absolutely ready and you're sure you want to go, because she's not going to forget, she's going to remember. But yeah, shout out to my friend, my family, my sister, like they're my people. Cheers to amazing, beautiful friendship with you guys. You're doing an amazing job as a mom and a dad. I love you guys so much whenever you watch this video. But yeah, cheers to amazing friendship with you guys. Like, I love you guys so much. Guys, today we're still on the topic of friendship, right? We're going to be talking about something that I've been getting a lot of questions about. I remember the last Q&A I did with my husband. It was one of the questions that was on there, and I also have a bunch of people that sent me messages based on this, so I decided to actually sit down and make a video on this topic. And the topic is just like friendships in marriage. Like, yeah, so yeah, basically I'll read out like some of the questions that people had asked me, and then I'll just address and share with you guys how I feel about it or what I feel about it. So I just found one of the questions, and it says, "Hi Bemi, you're doing an amazing job in motherhood. I wanted to ask you how you handle a social relationship with your hobby female friends and the negative outside noise that one might encounter in marriage." So basically, and then people have been asking me that, like, how do you deal with like your husband's female friends and stuff like that. And I remember that like in the Q&A video, I think I said something along the lines of yeah, like there's nothing to be afraid about, or there's nothing that I fear about their relationship. I even admire it and stuff like that. So but then today I just wanted to go in depth about how I feel, or how I have gotten to that point where I'm okay with my husband's female friendships. It initially wasn't like that, but then you know, as time goes on, or as time went on, I gradually changed. So I think the first question on everybody's minds really most of the time is it appropriate for your husband to have female friends, or is it appropriate for your wife to have male friends? And you know, my answer to this question is absolutely 100% yes. It's appropriate, it's nice, it's healthy for your husband to have female friends. It's healthy for your wife to have male friends. Like, you can't just live life with just your gender type of friends. There are different reasons why we're called to this earth and different purposes that we all have. So having that different variations of people that have different strategic things in their lives, or you know, there's one reason or the other why those people are in your life, or you know, for one thing or the other that they're supposed to be doing. So having a mix of those people is healthy for your, you know, your whole life, and you know, everything, your growth and everything. So definitely, if you ask me that, is it okay for your husband to have female friends, I would tell you absolutely 100% yes. You know, one thing I always tell you guys about is that there's so many things that you have to discuss and share before you get married. Or okay, so now people are like, okay, well, now I'm married, Bemi, like how do I go about these things? So it's still not too late when you're in your marriage. They're just things that you have to talk about, you have to communicate about. So I think the first thing should be, what is good for the geese is good for the gander. Or like somebody would say, what is good for the goose is good for Uganda. You know, like, if you can't have like double standards. So I cannot have male friends and tell my husband not to have female friends. Like, there's no, like, it doesn't make any sense to me, except if I personally just don't have any male friends, and you know, but you can't like stop me or say, oh, you're not supposed to have male friends. So you, as a lady, that you see your husband having female friends, even though you don't have a male friend, that doesn't give you the liberty to be like, oh, you're not supposed to have female friends, you're not supposed to, you know, things like that. So I think that was one of the things that I had to understand initially, that because I have a lot of male friends, like my husband knows them, and now they're like now my husband's buddies, you know, like he knows them too. So I have a lot of male friends, and I just felt like it wasn't going to sit right with me telling my husband not to have female friends or female acquaintances or even interact with female colleagues of his. And he has quite a lot of them because, well, where he used to work before, the places that he's worked before, it's almost always been that he's the only guy in the department or something like that, or maybe they're just two guys in the department. He works in a female dominated role, so it's a no-brainer that, you know, he's going to have a lot of female acquaintances, and then some of them eventually, you know, by virtue of working closely together, become, you know, close friends. So that was something that I had to understand. Most of the male friends I also have, like, stems from relationship from work. So it would have been double standard of me to say that, you know, I have this male friends and my husband cannot have this female friends. So I think that's the first thing we need to just get out of the way. And even if you do not have, you know, friends of the opposite sex, which honestly I don't know why, that doesn't also give you the liberty to stop your partner from having those type of friends. Okay, so now that your husband and yourself have agreed, or your partner and yourself have agreed that you both can have friends of the opposite gender, then you also have to sit down and agree on the kind of information that you would like to share with this kind of people. So you're basically establishing boundaries. It's not everything that you feel like your husband should tell that friend, or it's not everything that you feel like your wife should tell that friend. Even if it's of the same gender, I don't think that there's every information that you're supposed to share with your friends or your acquaintances. There's a level to the kind of information that you're supposed to put out there to some of these people. Even with your family, it's not every information that you share with them, you know, when it comes to your, like, a relationship and your marriage and things like that. So initially when we got married, I think there was a friend that my husband had, and they used to, like, you know, chat and gist and everything, and it was kind of uncomfortable for me, and we had to address it. I had to talk about it with him because I felt like, you know, I felt like even though there wasn't a conversation really about me or our family going on, it was just like about, like, their career and their lives and whatever. But I just felt like we had to establish some type of boundaries, especially for the person not to get the wrong idea. That was where I was even coming from, because I feel like you can have a friend and, you know, you just think that it's platonic, but then the way you start, like, texting the person, or the way you're, like, always there for the person might start having, like, other things in their head that, oh, maybe this could be more or something like that. So there's a way you have to balance that relationship, and that was something that I know we had to sit down and address and talk about. That there has to be, like, boundaries. There needs to, like, why are you texting somebody, I'm just giving an example, like, why are you texting somebody like 12 a.m. in the morning when you're supposed to be sleeping, or you're supposed to be cuddling your spouse or something like that? Why are you texting somebody? Or you and your spouse go out on a date, or you and your partner go out on a date, and your partner is texting that person. Like, I get that they're friends, but there has to be, like, some type of limits. There has to be, like, some type of boundaries. And so those were things that I had to sit down and talk to my husband about. So if you're one of those out there and you're thinking, how do I bridge this gap, or how do I establish these boundaries, you need to sit down and talk about it. I know that you have said your own mind and this is how you feel about it, and it's, you know, it makes you very uncomfortable, because sometimes we just assume that the person should know. You're supposed to know that this thing makes me feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to know that you shouldn't be doing this, but ultimately sometimes they don't even know. Sometimes they're even clueless. Sometimes they're even oblivious to the fact that you might be feeling some type of way about it. So you need to sit down and express those things and clear the air, and then create that boundary. Like, what kind of information do I tell this person, or what kind of information do I not tell this person? At what time of the day or what hour of the day do I get to text this person? Not really, like, you know, deep like that, but, like, you know, just a fairy, and then you understand that you all are on the same page. But if you know that your partner is kind of person that does not really understand or take hints and doesn't really understand, we just talking about surface level stuff, then you have to go in depth and talk to the person, so that the person will get it into their tick score that, me ò like it, me ò they like it, no, I don't like it and I don't like it, and let's just move on. So another thing that I would say is that after you set, like, your boundaries and you people are on the same page, you've cleared the air and everything, I think you should just give your partner the benefit of doubt. I don't think that anybody goes into a relationship without having trust in their partner. I believe there should be some level of trust. I understand that things might have happened and you are broken, or the person has broken the trust that you have in them or whatever. But if you're still dating the person, I would say you shouldn't go into a relationship with somebody that you do not absolutely trust. If you're already in the marriage, I would say that you need to work on trusting the person again. If you feel like you cannot trust that person again, then I don't really understand what's going on in that relationship. I'm not going to say what you need me to say, I just don't understand that. So you need to trust your partner. You need to have some type of trust in them. You need to give them the benefit of doubt that, I trust you. You having relationship or platonic relationship with this person, I trust you 100% that you know what you're doing and you know what is right, even though we've talked about it and we've established boundaries and everything. But I trust that you understand what is going on, or what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. And I expect the same trust in the person or the same trust back. Like, my partner should also give me that same trust that, I am having this relationship with this person, and a platonic relationship, just friendship, really just regular friendship, and I'm not going to have anything to do with them, or any sexual thing to do with them, or any sexual relationship to do with them. Another thing that I think helps me with the kind of relationship that my husband has with his friends is that he kind of includes me in the friendship. So there are several times that I have gone out with these people to weddings. You go to weddings. I go to weddings with my husband. He introduces me to them. They have like team bonding activities. We go together. The same thing with me. Like, some of the friends that we're having over today are mostly my guy friends, and they're coming with their wives. And so we've kind of like included ourselves in each other in the relationship, and that way that there's really no room for you to doubt anything or for you to be thinking otherwise, because you kind of know, like, okay, this is where this person is at, or this is where that person is at. And sometimes this friendship, the person was initially like my husband's friend, and then we've now gotten closer, even than my husband. We now have a better bond, or a better understanding, or even a better relationship than what they had with my husband. So at the end of the day, I feel like you including yourself in the relationship, also helps. You don't. I think some of the times the doubts that people have is when they are isolated from the friendship. But when you include them in the friendship, I think it's somehow allays people's fears, and makes people feel much better. So I think that's something else that you should try to incorporate in, social relationships with your spouses. But I would also say, in all of this, at the end of the day, is that you do what you need to do, which is, establishing boundaries, stating what you're not comfortable about, including yourself in the relationship. You do what you need to do and have your conscience cleared and be fine. And at the end of the day, the person is still going to do whatever they want to do. So it's not on you to, what I mean is, like, if you're policing the person, like, oh my God, why are you texting this person? Why are you this? Why are you that? At the end of the day, they're still going to do what they want to do. Human beings have free will. So it doesn't matter if you say, oh, don't text this girl, don't this, don't that. They'll still go to the office, they'll still see each other, they can still email each other, they can still do so many other things together that you won't even be there. So it doesn't matter how much you try to police the relationships or the social relationship that your spouse has. What matters is that they decide not to cheat on you. They decide not to have extramarital affairs. They decide not to step out on your vows. They decide not to do all this, evil things, that they're not supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, that your conscience is cleared, and you have done your best that you're supposed to do, and you know that God is happy with you. And it's not on you when that person decides to step out and, start having sexual relations with this supposed friend. It's really not on you. It's not your fault, because you've done what you're supposed to do, and you just leave the rest to God. At the end of the day, like I said, human beings have free will, and they do whatever they feel like doing. If they don't have the fear of God, that's where the problem lies, and all of these other things start happening. So just at the end of the day, I know it could be tough, especially for we as women, thinking, oh my God, how do I undo this? Sometimes it's not even your husband that is chasing these women, or these girls. It could even be the girls that are chasing your husband. You're saying, oh, it cannot happen to me because my husband is a Christian. Trust me, things they occur. Things they occur. You think the girl doesn't know that he's married? That's the main reason why she even wants him, because she knows that he is married. So at the end of the day, you will just have to do your own and leave the rest to God, and be prayerful. Commit your relationship into the hands of God. Pray about your marriage, that temptation will flee from you guys, and you'll be able to overcome temptation. At the end of the day, it may not even be your husband, it may even be you that you are watching me. God forbid I reject it for you, but you'll be able to flee temptation and the devices of that in which they appear. So that's just basically me sharing with you guys how I deal with, like, the relationship, especially the female friendships that my husband has in his life. Yeah, I don't think too much about it, because I know that when I had an issue with it, I had discussed with him, and we had, put everything on the table, and I'm fine at the point that I'm in. So it's not left to him to do to be wise, and take good counsel, and walk in the way of the Lord, and I will continue to pray for him, continue to pray for myself, continue to pray for our relationship, that God strengthens it. And I pray for you and yours also, that God strengthens your relationship, God guides you in the right path, and makes you flee from all devices of temptation in your life, in Jesus' name, amen. Sorry, it is raining. I hope this rain has not ruined this video with the sound, but anyways, just take me like that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know how you feel about this video. How do you deal with some of the social relationships that your spouse might have? How do you deal with it? How has it helped you in the past? Just let me know. Leave it in the comment section down below. If you have any more questions you need me to answer, leave it in the comment section down below. Share with me, and I will read it and comment back. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.